Hello PD Army and welcome to a brand new video, and a very excited me because today I'm going to drive the new R36 Nissan GTR. What? We're not driving the GTR. It's not ready yet. 35 is still being made. We're driving something else? Oh, okay. Retake. Hello PD Army and welcome to a brand new video, and a very excited me because today I'm driving the brand new Nissan Nismo Z.
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Oh, what? We're not driving that either. It's not coming to India. Oh, we're driving something else. What? It's an AMT. And it's exciting, you said. Are you sure? And it's a one liter naturally aspirated. Okay, funny use of vocabulary here, the word exciting. This isn't exciting in the traditional sense. I mean, this isn't exciting as enthusiasts find things exciting, but there are other people who buy cars, okay? And if you're in the market for your first car and you have to have an automatic, I mean, this is a lot of car for its money. We don't know how it drives just yet. We will get to that in about 45 seconds or so. But listen, I got a Maruti 800 as my first car, and then I moved up or down, depending on how you want to look at it, to a Premier Padmini. If I got this as my first car, even I would be excited, dude.
Driving on Indian roads is like going to war, and you need to be well prepared. That's why we recommend CASTROL MAGNATEC SUV. This fully synthetic BS6 ready engine oil comes with the latest API specifications, giving your SUV non-stop protection from every start, be it warm-up, stop-start or heavy loads.
Okay, I'm going to keep this as snappy as possible, and let's get straight to the point here. Let's talk about how this drives. Now, let's talk about the engine quickly first. I'll give you a quick spec sheet readout if you'd like. 999cc 1 liter engine, naturally aspirated obviously. 72 horsepower and 96 Newton meters of torque. Those are minuscule figures by 2023 standards, right? We'll get to that in a little bit. But let's talk about that AMT gearbox. 5-speed AMT module on top of the 5-speed manual. That's how the AMT works. And that's what makes it cost efficient as compared to, say, a torque converter or a DCT or a CVT, which is a bigger cost differential as compared to what the manuals usually are. Now, there are two things that I want to talk about specifically. One, let's talk about AMT nod, because that's what really annoys a lot of people. In this car, Nissan has seemed to reduce the AMT nod to an almost acceptable level. It's still there, but it's acceptable, and that's because the gears actually take a lot longer to shift from one gear to the other gear. So shifting speeds are a lot slower, and noticeably a lot slower, but the nod is again comparatively lesser too. That's a good and a bad thing, but depending on how you look at it, if you want it to shift faster or if you want that nod to be eliminated, it's really up to personal preferences. It's not bad though. It's not responsive, and it sometimes does struggle to get up, say, a slope or a hill if you're on a standstill and then you sort of go. But otherwise it is, well, okay, and that's exactly what I would have expected from a car like this. Second point though is interesting. Now, when you put it into manual mode, this doesn't have a sport mode, so you have to use the manual as a sort of pseudo sport mode. But when you put it into manual mode, a lot of cars hold their gears, they don't really shift. What this does is this shifts all the way to 6,300-ish RPM, and then it shifts to the next gear. And that means you can actually drive this relatively sportily. In fact, if I was to sum up the whole experience of driving this car in one single phrase or one single sentence, I'd say, to be very frank, I'm actually pleasantly surprised. For most people and for most applications, perfect.
Perfect for an AMT, of course. Look, let's be honest, all of us would rather opt for a better gearbox, but this needs to exist too. It's cost effective, especially good when it comes in a package like this that's properly loaded. It's got a digital cluster, wireless CarPlay, 360-degree camera, and yes, some plastic bits on the inside are sus, but it looks overall great. In fact, it's one of those cars that looks a lot more expensive than it actually is.
Now, this is the point of the video where we talk about something very, very important, something very, very serious. The normal Magnite, the manual normal 1 litre Magnite, starts at about 6 lakh rupees. Now, the differential between a manual gearbox and an AMT is usually about 60,000-70,000 rupees on average between manufacturer to manufacturer. I think Nissan's going to undercut that differential. I think it's going to be about 50 or 55,000 rupees, which means the base model Magnite AMT will start at about 6.5 and it'll go up all the way to about 9.5, which is what that is, top spec XP Premium. Which means that's about 11 lakh rupees on road, and that does not make it compete with the Brezza and the Sonnet and the Venue and the new Nexon, but that now goes up against the likes of the Exter and the Punch. And that means you get, for the same amount of money, a car that's a full size larger. And that suddenly makes it a very, very interesting proposition, doesn't it?
We started talking about the GTR and the Nismo Z. That of course was just a tease, but as much as people shrug this car away, it isn't something you should shrug away. As a 10 lakh rupee automatic car, this is a genuine serious contender. And it's a Nissan, which means it will be bulletproof. And that as a combination does make this exciting to a lot of people. Honestly, me too.